Last week we did show 100 for Extra Time. This week, show 101, and Greg's not here.
The guy only played 100 minutes in Major League Soccer, so it figures.
I guess Greg can't make it to 101. Extra Time's next. Welcome to Extra Time, everyone. I'm Jason, the producer, and with me here is Shep Messing. Greg's hanging out below the equator these days at the Confederations Cup. So, Confederations Cup, Shep, not a good start for the U.S., losing 3-1 to Italy.
I actually thought there were a myriad of different positives for the U.S. team. You never like to play against the defending World Cup champions 68 minutes down a man, but Ricardo Clark, he'll learn from that experience. You don't go with a studs-up tackle where it doesn't mean anything. I thought Spector played well. I thought after the first 30 minutes, Jonathan Bornstein played well. And this is a dress rehearsal. It's for Bob Bradley to look at his players, put the pieces together.
Yeah, I thought Spector was very impressive. Landon played a pretty good game, so there's definitely some positives. They're going to have to pick it up to play Brazil this Thursday.
Brazil didn't do great against Egypt, so again, for everybody down there that want to win the games, they're preparing for next year.
Fair enough. So back to MLS. Big weekend in MLS. All winners, no ties. We like that because we've been getting sick of these ties.
Go to the goals. You're playing for something. Get those 3 points. Everybody did it.
And we got new leaders in the East and the West. DC takes over in the East. Houston tied now with Chivas in the West.
I think Houston is a remarkable story right now. And Chivas, although they had a tough week, I'm still a big believer in that team. The Western Conference, when you look at the beginning of the year, Houston struggling. We had confidence in them. Chivas started out of the gate strong. They're slipping a little bit, still up there. But the Eastern Conference, I thought a terrific game, Chicago against D.C.
Interesting part of the season that we're getting to now. The trade winds are really starting to blow. As you see, Pat Noonan gets sent to Colorado this week, bolstering their attack. That's a pretty good pickup for them if they're going to be missing Connor Casey and Omar Cummings in the next couple months for national team duty.
And Noonan has not done the job since he's come back to Major League Soccer.
Stuck behind Schelotto and Moreno.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get any playing time there, so maybe he helps Colorado.
Yeah, the trade winds actually started blowing last week when San Jose sent Cam Weaver to Houston, sent Nick Garcia to Toronto. Cam Weaver goes to Houston after not really doing much this season. All of a sudden, he's got 2 goals and an assist in a week, leading the team into first place. We've seen this before, right, Chuck?
I tell you, you have to give credit to Dominic Kinnear. There are 2 factors, Dominic Kinnear and Houston. Players love to get traded to a franchise that has a winning organization, that has a winning mentality and a culture. We have seen it before. Kai Kamara, Nate Jakwa, Bobby Boswell was done at DC United, resurrected. So I give all the credit to Dominic Kinnear.
Even Dominic Odoro getting the assist on one of Weaver's goals as a player who kind of, got sent to New York from Dallas, wasn't doing anything.
The jury's still out on him. But yes, players like to go to a team where they have a shot to win and where Dominic Kinnear is going to coach you.
So that brings Houston to the lead in the Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference, we saw Chicago meet DC in DC with first place on the line, and DC wins a great game. Very entertaining to watch.
What I loved about the game is we had 2 teams going at each other trying to win the game. So the ebb and flow of the game, back and forth. A huge game, I thought, by Christian Gomez. It's taken him a while, but once he got acclimated into the DC United team system, they're a very tough team to beat.
Yeah, it took a huge game from Josh Wicks also to pull this out, saving a McBride penalty kick, and he had a bunch of other acrobatic saves in this game.
Well, that's extra time because Greg and I have been saying make a decision on a goalkeeper. I think Tommy Sohn made the right decision. Josh Wicks has always had the athleticism, the reflexes, the hands. He used to make mistakes during a game. So far, he's been pretty much flawless for DC United, and that's a real good thing for them.
Yeah, the interesting other point to this game was Chicago left Cuauhtemoc Blanco at home, essentially. He was coming back from Mexico, played 2 games the week before. They said, go to Chicago, rest up. You look at the end of this game, they really could have used him, maybe even coming off the bench for the last 15 minutes. In retrospect, was it the right decision?
I think it was, and I can certainly understand if Dennis Hamlet got criticized for leaving Blanco out of the mix when he didn't have to. But I believe you have to treat superstars in a special fashion. Dennis Hamlet and the Chicago Fire need an invigorated, a motivated, a happy Blanco in the stretch run for Major League Soccer. And I think by doing it, they're going to have that.
And I agree with you. And in that stretch run, both teams are definitely, DC and Chicago are both going to be looking over their shoulders at Columbus now, who's on a 9-game unbeaten streak. And I don't know if they can be stopped. Look at Schelotto.
Columbus, we never gave up on Columbus. Columbus also off to a horrendous start this season in Major League Soccer. But even without Chad Marshall, you have Schelotto. I think for the first time in the history of Major League Soccer, you may have a guy in Schelotto who wins 2 MVPs in a row. He is just brilliant.
Shep, I know you don't like to get ahead of yourself, but next on Columbus' schedule is FC Dallas and New York. Those 2 winnable games. Could be an 11-game unbeaten streak. They go into a huge July 4th game against DC United.
You are getting way ahead of yourself. Are those winnable games? Absolutely. But you still have to go in Major League Soccer and get the victories.
And FC Dallas showed Chicago that earlier this season. That's all the time we have for today. Tomorrow on Extra Time, Shep and I are going to debate San Jose and what the rest of the season holds for them. I think differently. You can email us at extratime@mlsnet.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Jason, ET Producer. That's all the time we got for today. See you tomorrow.